Shaquille O'Neal and LeBron James are on a collision course, the biggest clash the NBA has witnessed in a generation, and the fuse was lit not by a playoff battle, but by a brutally honest statement about LeBron's eldest son, Bronny James. I told his father that the kid wasn't ready for the NBA, but what unfolded next escalated into a full-blown war that nobody inside the league saw coming. We are not talking about typical Hall of Fame banter. We are talking about Shaq exposing the real, unspoken secret behind how Bronny James got drafted. And yet, that revelation is not even the most shocking part, because once you hear the complete story, you will understand why this controversy is rapidly becoming the most devastating NBA fallout we have witnessed in years. Consider the timeline. On the very same night that LeBron James signed a 2-year, $104 million contract extension with the Los Angeles Lakers, his son, a player who was not even ranked among the top performers in the G League, was handed a fully guaranteed NBA deal as the 55th overall pick in the draft. And right there, in that moment, the entire madness began. Let's be clear, the 55th pick in the NBA draft is not really a legitimate thing. Sure, it exists on paper, but historically, the 55th selection is where professional basketball dreams go to die quietly. Nobody throws a celebratory party for the 55th pick. Your own mother probably does not know you got drafted at 55. In fact, out of the last 5 players selected 55th before Bronny James, only one managed to secure even a partially guaranteed contract, and that player only earned that deal after spending a full year proving himself in the G League first. Kyle Guy got a 2-way contract. Jay Scrubb got a 2-way. Aaron Wiggins got a 2-way. Isaiah Wong got a 2-way. That is the actual history of pick 55. Well, that history applies to everyone unless you happen to be LeBron James's son, because even with his average collegiate performance, Bronny somehow secured a 4-year deal worth $7.9 million, fully guaranteed for the first 2 years, with a significant partial guarantee in year 3. Imagine going through those numbers for a second-round pick who had just come off a college season where he averaged a mere 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game at USC. He played in only 25 games and shot under 20% from three-point range. Yes, I am not making that statistic up. Under 20% from deep. My guy was shooting worse from behind the arc than I do in a casual pickup game, and yet he walked directly into a guaranteed NBA contract. But here is where the situation becomes genuinely insane, and I need you to pay close attention to this part. The contract was not even the wildest event that occurred during the 2024 NBA draft. While Bronny was still sitting on the board in the second round, ESPN's Bob Myers, the former general manager of the Golden State Warriors, went live on air and exposed how Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, was calling other teams during the draft and instructing them not to select Bronny James. His exact words were, "Do not take Bronny James. If you take him, he is going to Australia." So let us be absolutely clear about what actually transpired on draft night in June 2024. This was not the Lakers discovering a hidden diamond in the rough. This was an engineered outcome. The Lakers were always the predetermined destination, and LeBron got exactly what he wanted. Father and son on the same team. Yes, it is a beautiful personal story, but it is also the worst basketball decision the league has seen in a very long while. Now, Shaquille O'Neal watched all of this unfold. Shaq, who won 3 championships in that building and gave everything he had to that franchise, had something to say about it. Before the season even started, he went on the record stating that Bronny belonged in the G League and was not ready for the NBA level. And as the season played out, that assessment kept getting more and more validated. Here's what Bronny actually did in his rookie year. He averaged 2.3 points per game while shooting 31.3% from the field and 28.1% from the three-point line across 27 NBA games. In the current 2025 to 2026 season, his shooting sits at 35% from the field. Those are not the numbers of a player who is developing. Those are the statistics of a player who is genuinely, measurably, and statistically not ready for the NBA. And the players who paid the price for this? Consider Jordan Goodwin, a guy who signed with the Lakers, got waived in October 2024, clawed his way back on a 2-way deal in February, defended at a high level, and then got waived again in July 2025. While Bronny kept his guaranteed roster spot, Goodwin went to the Phoenix Suns, where he immediately carved out meaningful minutes doing the exact things the Lakers desperately needed, defending and staying active. So basically, the Lakers cut the player who could actually help them and kept the one who could not, all because one of them had the right last name. For Shaq, the controversy surrounding Bronny James is about much more than statistics. It is about what the Lakers have always represented. Throughout NBA history, the Lakers built their reputation on excellence, where every roster spot had to be earned. From legendary players to role players fighting for minutes, the expectation was always the same. Prove that you belong. That is why Shaq has been so vocal. His criticism is not simply that Bronny has struggled to produce on the court. Late draft picks often take time to develop, and many never become stars. What bothers Shaq is the perception that Bronny entered the league with advantages that countless other players never received. In his view, there are talented athletes in the G League and overseas who have spent years fighting for an opportunity that may never come. The debate became even louder after LeBron James spoke about how challenging today's NBA is compared to previous eras. While many agree that the modern game requires different skills, critics see a contradiction. If the league is more competitive than ever, they argue, then every roster spot should be earned through performance alone. For Shaq, that is where the Bronny situation becomes difficult to ignore. Having spent his career helping build the Lakers' championship culture, Shaq views the franchise through a different lens. He remembers an era when players like himself and Kobe Bryant faced enormous pressure to perform every night. Nothing was guaranteed. Success had to be earned through hard work, production, and results. That standard, according to Shaq, is what made the Lakers one of the most respected organizations in sports. Supporters of Bronny point out that he is still young and deserves time to develop. They argue that many NBA players have benefited from family connections or unique opportunities throughout league history. Critics, however, believe the attention surrounding Bronny has created expectations that would not exist for most players selected in a similar draft position. For Shaq, the issue ultimately goes beyond one player. It is about preserving a culture that prioritizes winning above everything else. He believes the Lakers became great because they demanded excellence from everyone associated with the organization. Whether people agree with his stance or not, his comments reflect the perspective of someone who helped define one of the most successful periods in franchise history. That is why Shaq's criticism continues to resonate with fans. He is not just evaluating a young player's performance. He is questioning whether the standards that once defined the Lakers are still being upheld. In his eyes, protecting that legacy matters just as much as what happens on the court today.